Welcome to Compai's Expat channel. I'm Compai. I am Susua's voice of reason. Just like the thumbnail said, step one, becoming a successful expat. Guys, let's talk about this. I get a lot of clients who come down and ask me, John, I think I'm ready to move overseas. What suggestions do you have for me? Well, the first suggestion I'm going to say is come down and let's talk about it and stay at Casad Kai, my business. There's a lot of places to rent in Susua. If you're looking for peaceful, affordable, and tranquil, look at Casad Kai, Susua's hidden gem. When you're ready to reserve at Casad Kai, my contact information is in the description down below. Guys, thank you for watching my commercial. Having a successful business down here for 16 years doing business with my own property gives me the, I don't want to say authority, but it gives me the background, the history, to be able to speak with a certain level of authority. And step one on being a successful expat is being prepared. You'd be surprised how many people overlook this simple thing. You gotta be prepared. So what am I talking about being prepared? Well, the first thing, how are you gonna support yourself? Let me say this very clearly. Susua and the Dominican Republic in general, we have way too many underfunded retirees and cheap expats. We don't need any more. So before you decide to move overseas, make sure you have the money to do it. I can't tell you how many people come down here that I've known that ran out of money. And there's a cycle to this. They come down, they rent someplace nice like mine. They do that for maybe 3-4 months, and then they realize they can rent someplace cheaper, and that's fine. That's the cycle. That's how it works. That's part of my business model. So, and that's one of the steps in becoming successful is understanding where you need to fit into the society down here. But the reason they move is because their money starts running out. They didn't realize how expensive it is to live down here. They want to maintain that North American or European lifestyle, but they underestimated the cost of living here. So before you come down here, guys, make sure you have at least $2,500 a month. Under that, you're going to be living in some barrio somewhere. You're going to be listening to another YouTube content creator that says, live here, I live here. You don't want to be that guy. You really don't. You want to maintain your same standard of living you worked your ass off back home for. You want to have that same standard down here. So you got to be prepared. Make sure you have a strong monthly budget with guaranteed income. If you have the ability for VA benefits and you're at 100%, you're going to live a very comfortable life down here. If you have a good union pension, firefighter, police, you're going to have a very good life down here, provided you don't get caught up in the vices that are down here. I'm talking the guys that are on the straight and narrow, have their act together, that don't go off the deep end, okay? So provided you have the finances to do it and you want to maintain the same standard of living you have, the next thing you need to be prepared for is your state of mind. I suggest if you want to become an expat and you're thinking about making that full-time move, one of the things that I really suggest is that you come down here in the low season when it's hot. Now, I'm from southern New Jersey. I used to come down here in the summer all the time. Summer is my favorite time of the year down here. From May till the end of October is my absolute favorite. One, it's slower. So that means less time waiting in bank lines. There's less people in the supermarkets. The traffic's less. The bars are less crowded. I just enjoy getting my town back, and I appreciate that. But I appreciate the high season as well, because that's when most of the business down here make the money to survive the low season. Why I say come down here in the low season, if you can live down here in the low season, you can live down here any time of the year. It's easy for a new expat to adjust when the place is packed. There's live music every night. There's plenty of people to talk to. There's more to do. When you come down here in the low season and you can honestly live down here, not for the party, not for the chicas, but for the lower, slower quality of life, you're going to be able to adjust better. Then you're going to realize this is where I want to be. It's not always about the party. And the longer you're here, the more that's going to become the norm, going home at a normal time. That's just my routine. And I have a normal routine, and that's the important thing. So also, everybody's worried about the heat down here in the summer. Let me tell you something. It's hotter in southern New Jersey with the high levels of humidity and the heat than it is down here. I used to work as a lineman outside. I would die in the summertime back home in Jersey. I would come down here to cool off. It's really a difference, but you got to be able to adjust to that. The other thing being prepared is not being around your family. I've seen a lot of couples, especially the couples that come down here, they buy that villa, they want to change their life, and then the next thing, the missus is missing the grandkids. So you got to be prepared for that, not seeing the grandkids as much, not seeing your family as much, and missing out on holidays. A lot of expats get very, very depressed down here during holidays because they're not used to not being with their family. The whole Christmas tradition that they've done for the last 30 years isn't down here. And you're not going to somebody's house and hanging out. It's a totally different vibe down here. It's hot. A lot of Christmases I spent on the beach partying. I thought it was great. Everybody else is back home cold, and I'm having Christmas on the Sosua Beach. A lot of good times doing that, but not everybody can handle that. The separation from the family, especially in the holiday seasons, causes a lot of people a lot of stress. The other thing you got to be prepared about is medical issues. You got to have health insurance down here. You got to be prepared for emergencies. That's the big thing. So you got to have all your ducks in line. You got to have your money in line. How am I going to live? Way too many expats come down here. They don't get their blood work. They don't get to see a doctor. They partying every day. Then they get sick. And then they're like, wow, why is my blood sugar through the roof? Or why do I have stage 4 cancer? So a lot of expats come down here, and what they don't do, they don't take care of themselves. They're not prepared for a medical emergency. They don't have health insurance, so they're not getting blood work done. They're not getting their prostate numbers. They're not getting their blood sugar numbers. And then the next thing you know, they feel sick. Then they go to the hospital, and I can't tell you how many guys I know down here that have died within months of going to the hospital. Boom, you got stage 4 cancer. Go home and get everything in order. I know many guys who have come down here and passed away. So that's the thing that nobody talks about, but it happens all the time. So they're the examples of being prepared. That's step one. You do this before you even think about choosing a location to go to, what country. That's the first things you got to have in mind. All those 4 mental steps. So guys, thank you for watching my channel. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Guys, and I appreciate all the wonderful comments that people post. And guys, always remember, keep private personal and personal private. Peace out.